I'm going to do 5 things in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to tell you why this issue of humanitarian need will remain on our agenda even after Haiti has faded from the headlines. I'm going to tell you about the track record of the World Economic Forum on this issue. I'm going to tell you about the work that the Global Agenda Council has done and what we want to do next. I'm going to ask for your help in making that happen. Haiti is on all our minds, but it's far from an isolated case. 200 million people affected each year through natural disaster, through war, through drought. That number's going up, and it's going to go up faster because of climate change and because of population increase. All these things are connected. We expect a caseload at least 25% higher by 2015. Now, the World Economic Forum has known this and has worked on it for some time, and there have been a series of initiatives. When there's a famine or a disaster, as in Haiti, the forum rallies. People ring up, they offer things, the forum acts as a broker on this. The partnerships are in place. The forum collaborated with the UN in order to provide guiding principles for the private sector working in emergencies. It's put together teams across companies in different sectors, for example, on logistics, so that logistics teams can go out and manage the airports, manage the communications. There is a construction team, there are health teams. There's an overarching framework known as the Disaster Resource Partnerships. What we've demonstrated, what they've demonstrated through this work, is that the private sector can be a useful partner, provided that it has the right approach, is managed right, and works well with others. Now, at the top of this list is the work that we've been doing in the Global Agenda Council. We've called it, in order to try and focus minds, a new business model for humanitarian assistance. It's about moving away from the Haitis and making disaster response look a little bit more like China. China didn't need a massive internal injection of people and resources in order to deliver change because it was prepared, because it was organized, because it had the stockpiles, because it had the command and control structures. So what we want to have is a 6-step reformulation of our approach to humanitarian assistance, which will mean that we never again have another Haiti to deal with. We need to start with risk. We need to understand where the risks are. This is just an example of the UK National Risk Register. What's the likelihood, if it does happen, what's the possible consequence of any kind of shock to the stability of the system? We need to then rebalance the spending so that we have more on prevention and more on preparedness and, of course, more on recovery. We want to make this enormous and rather cost-ineffective explosion of emergency relief less necessary in the future. And that means having good people in place in advance. Investing in national and local capacity. That's the thing that China has and Haiti doesn't. And then we want the private sector engaged in this, because you have the skills and you have the resources that the public sector and the NGOs don't have. Of course, it's part of a much wider conversation about how we embed humanitarian relief in wider social and economic development. A new global partnership, therefore, linking the governments, the private sector, and civil society nationally and internationally. Locally driven, embedded in chambers of commerce, with mayors, in regions, at local level, and then built up and coordinated and supported globally. We think we can deliver that. We think we can make a big difference to the way in which future emergencies are managed. We've written this in a challenge paper that we published at the end of last year and in the proposal that we circulated. The question we're now addressing, and this is where we need your help, is where do we take this next? We think we know what needs to be done. We'd like to be challenged on whether it's right. Now we need to go to ground and try it out and then begin to scale it up. And we've talked in our council about various places where we might do this. Of course, Haiti would have been on our agenda, although now I think to talk about long-term preparedness in Haiti is a bit of a stretch given the scale of the current need. Southeast Asia, though, has been battered by repeated shocks. Of course, the tsunami, but also the typhoons and the cyclones, the problems they've had with mini tsunamis this year. There is a big earthquake zone, of course. There was an earthquake in the Philippines only yesterday. And there is capacity and there is interest to do more about this subject in the ASEAN region. We think ASEAN is a high priority for this kind of work, but there are others. We'd like to see work in Southern Africa, we'd like to see work in South Asia, of course along the Andes, indeed everywhere. We can't do this without new friends, new partnerships, new support, new resources. We think we can deliver that together, but we want to be pointed in the right direction. We want you to help. Thank you.
Good. Good. Done.